There is a specific weight that settles on your chest on a Sunday night, right around the time you start doing the math on what leaves your account on Monday. It follows you into the shower, rides along in the car, and sits in the middle of conversations you are only half hearing. You have tried the apps, the spreadsheets, to finally get it together. And somehow, the weight always comes back. But one small money habit set up and lift it off your chest for good. So let me tell you what it is before we go one sentence further. Because I am not going to make you wait 20 minutes for the payoff. The habit is this. You automate the very first move your money makes the moment it lands. So that saving happens before you ever see the cash and before that Sunday night wait has anything to grab onto. That is the whole thing. Pay yourself first, on autopilot, the same day you get paid. And the reason it makes life feel lighter almost instantly is not the money itself. It is the fact that you stop making the same decision over and over. Money week actually feels. The paycheck hits, and now you are the one who has to decide. Do I move some into savings this week, or do I wait until things feel a little safer? Should I really put money away when the car is making that noise again? Maybe next paycheck, or maybe once the holiday after that raise finally shows up. Every one of those is a tiny negotiation with yourself, and you are having that same argument 2 or 4 times a month, every month, for years. That is the wait. The wait was never the dollars. The wait is the deciding. Think of your brain like a phone with 50 tabs open in the background. Each unpaid bill is one of those tabs. The nagging should I save this week question is another one. That bigger I really need to deal with my money someday is a third tab you never close, just minimize. None of them are doing anything useful, but all of them are quietly draining the battery, which is why you can feel exhausted by your finances on a day you did not spend a single dollar. Automation closes those tabs, not by making you deal with each one, but by handling them in the background so they stop pinging you at all. Psychologists have a name for what that constant deciding does to you. It is called decision fatigue, and it is well documented. Your capacity to make good choices is not unlimited. It drains as the day goes on, and it drains faster when the choices carry fear. Money choices carry the most fear of all because they touch your safety, your family, and your sense of whether you are going to be okay. So by the time you sit down to move money into savings, you are usually running on empty, and the easiest choice, the one that costs nothing right this second, is to do it later. Automation deletes that moment. You make the call one time on one calm afternoon, and then you never have to win that argument again. Now, I know what a claim like that sounds like. Anyone can say automation works. So let me hand you the proof, because the numbers here are honestly a little staggering. Every year, the investment company Vanguard studies the retirement accounts of nearly 5 million American workers, and they compare 2 kinds of workplace plans. In the first kind, you have to actively sign up to save. In the second kind, you are enrolled automatically, and saving just happens unless you opt out. Same jobs, same paychecks. The only difference is whether the saving runs on its own. In the plans where people had to sign themselves up, about 64% of workers actually saved. In the plans where it happened automatically, that number jumped to 94%. Sit with that gap for a second, because it is the whole argument in one statistic. Nothing changed about how much those people earned or how disciplined they were. The one thing that changed was whether the decision was already made for them. And it runs deeper. Workers who were enrolled automatically ended up saving just over 12% of their pay on average, while the ones left to their own willpower saved under 8%. The automatic savers were not smarter or richer. Their money simply moved before they could talk themselves out of it. When you set up your own automatic transfer, you are handing yourself the exact same advantage those workers got by accident. Here is why that matters for the feeling in your chest. not just the balance in your account. When saving is a choice you make every payday turns into a small referendum on whether you are a responsible adult. Miss one, and you feel it. Skip a few, and the guilt starts to compound faster than any interest ever could. But when the transfer is automatic, the guilt has nowhere to live. The money is already handled. You did the responsible thing weeks ago, on that one afternoon, and now it just keeps happening in the background while you go live your life. That is the lightness. It is the sound of an argument that has finally stopped playing in your head. Let me make this real with someone I will call Renata. She is a nurse who gets paid every 2 weeks, and for years her savings plan was a feeling. When a paycheck felt roomy, she moved a little into savings. When it felt tight, she did not. At the end of most years, she had almost nothing set aside, and she could not tell you where it went. So she tried one thing. She opened a separate savings account and set an automatic transfer of $200 to move the morning after each paycheck arrived. There was no harder budget. Not a single receipt got tracked. All she did was move the decision to the front of the line, one time. Watch what that does. $200 every 2 weeks is $5,200 a year going into savings without one act of willpower. But Renata did one more smart thing. She refused to leave that money in a regular big bank account earning basically nothing. And instead, she put it in a high-yield savings account. This is where the current moment actually helps you. Right now, in 2026, the national average savings account pays only about 1/3 of 1%, which is almost insulting. The strong online high-yield accounts are paying around 4% on $5,000. The average account earns you about $19 for the year. The high-yield account earns you closer to $200. Same money, same effort, 10 times the reward, just for parking it in the right place. And the reason those 4% rates are even sitting there for you today is worth understanding, because it will not last forever. The Federal Reserve has held its benchmark interest rate in a range around 3.5% to 3.75% through the first half of 2026, and savings rates tend to shadow that benchmark closely. When the Fed eventually cuts, those juicy 4% offers will start drifting down with it, which means the window to lock this habit in while your cushion earns real money is open right now and quietly closing. You do not need to time anything or chase the highest rate on the internet. You just need your automatic savings landing in an account that pays you something close to 4% instead of something close to nothing. Keep that automatic transfer running, and the math starts working for you instead of against you. After the first year, Renata has just over $5,300. Most of it her own money, a little of it interest. She does not touch it, and the transfer never stops, because she never has to remember to make it happen. After 5 years, she is sitting near $29,000. After 10 years, that same quiet $200 transfer has grown to almost $64,000, and close to $12,000 of that is money the bank paid her, not money she earned on the hospital floor. No raise made this happen. No lottery ticket. She decided once and let it run. There is a piece of this that sounds too simple to matter, so let me say it plainly. Put the money somewhere slightly annoying to reach. Renata did not open that savings account at the same bank as her checking, and that was on purpose. When your savings lives at a different bank, transferring it back to yourself takes a day or two. And that tiny bit of friction is enough to stop most impulse raids on your own future. Out of sight really does mean out of mind here. The account you never look at is the account that quietly grows. The one sitting next to your checking, one tap away, is the one that gets emptied every time a sale catches your eye. So separate it and let a little distance protect you from the version of you that wants it now. One more trick that costs nothing and works better than it should. Give the account a name. Not savings account number 2, but something your gut actually